If you've ever looked at top producing agents and thought, how do I even compete with them? This episode is for you. You don't need years of experience as a real estate agent or a massive ads budget to build authority and attract leads that want to work with you, even as a newer agent, somebody with less experience who is getting their footing, whether in the business or in your specific community. All that you really need is a story and the courage to tell it with strategy. So in this episode, we are going to be going over how to use your specific and personal story to effectively market your real estate business and attract real estate leads to you as an agent. Too many new agents feel that they need years of experience or a higher budget to compete in today's real estate market. And if that was the case, then nobody would be able to come into this business and start actually doing real estate deals. It would be quite difficult if that was the only way that you could be successful. And the problem is that if the only way to market your business is to rely on transaction numbers and market stats to build trust, then there would be a lot of people who would never have real estate businesses to begin with. Now, some buyer types are going to be interested in your stats and your transaction numbers. But the truth is that many people are going to buy from trust, not in market stats and your performance and the number of deals you've done, but they buy from trust and authority and believing that you are the right person to help them meet their real estate goals. So what this comes down to with your content marketing strategy is being able to effectively and clearly communicate a story that has emotion and it helps somebody see themselves as the hero in the story. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can do that with your own lived experience and how that can become your unique selling point as a new agent or as an agent that is new to a community. So here's why story connects and converts when it comes to marketing. Storytelling is a very powerful form of content. And when I say form of content, I just really mean like what's within the content itself. It can be in any form. It can be in the form of a conversation, one-to-one. It can be in a phone call, in a text message, in a video. But here's what storytelling does, and here's how it is so powerful, is that it has the ability for somebody to connect and relate to the story in some way. Maybe it sounds exactly like what their problems are, or maybe what their goals are, or maybe they see themselves in that story and they relate on an emotional level. It lowers resistance to just being sold and just being like, hey, this person just wants me to buy a house, to building trust fast because they are able to emotionally connect with the story. And the truth is that emotions are what are going to sell somebody. They are what is going to get that belief going in order for them to take action. And then the facts and figures and the information is going to solidify. So you want to be storytelling and connecting on that emotional level up front, and then following up with the info and the data. So really quick, I'm going to share just some examples with you. So you could be a mom who is creating content for other moms that are relocating with kids, things to do in the area, things that you found in the area. You may be a former teacher and you're helping other teachers navigating the home buying process and finding the best programs that are going to work with them to help them into home ownership. Maybe you are someone who has moved from another state and you are sharing what you wish you knew before you moved to your new state. Your unique story is going to make you both searchable in terms of the real estate information and the goals and the keywords that people are looking for, but also it is going to allow you to connect on a very personal level. So your story is going to be a strategic differentiator here when you do this right in your content strategy, because you don't need a full resume of transactions to show up with authority online. because part of your authority is the fact that you have taken the time to get your real estate license, to invest in your education, to go through the experience, to learn from other agents. I know that if you're listening to this podcast and if you are looking for ways to find clients, you are most likely somebody who has taken the action to actually know and understand the how of buying and selling real estate in your area. You've gone through the education, the training, the mentorship, and you may still be going through it. You're probably doing this on an ongoing level, which tells me that you have the authority. And now you just need a story that is going to connect to your dream client so they can see themselves in the story and then choose to work with you because you are the one who is giving them the path to success. So I want to give you this example. Let's say that you recently relocated to your area for your partner's job or for lifestyle reasons. So maybe this means that your partner got a job, or you relocated for maybe you're a military family. Maybe you moved so that you could have a better lifestyle. Maybe you moved out of the snow and out of negative 30-degree winters in Minnesota or something. And you are moving to Phoenix, Arizona for 300 plus days of sunshine a year. Maybe you wanted to move to be closer to family. Let's say that, you and your spouse were states away from family and you have kids growing up, and you realized that more than anything, having a family support system and community around you is really important. So you relocated back to where you were from, or you relocated to move and be with family members in a community that you could have around you. Now, this experience is your experience because it's going to be very unique. You've lived through the overwhelm of learning a new city and a lifestyle, choosing a neighborhood, and buying a home as an outsider, right? Moving to an area as an outsider. Maybe you have experience with the area, maybe you don't. But this is a unique experience because this is your specific experience. If you moved out of Minnesota to Phoenix, Arizona because of the weather, and you don't really have experience with Phoenix other than that there's a lot of sunshine here and there's job opportunities, and that you can't deal with the cold anymore. Your experience is still going to be different than somebody else who may have relocated to Phoenix, Arizona from another area, but maybe their reason for moving was different, or maybe their motivation, or maybe the circumstances, of their past experience. There is nothing that can compete with your individual experience and your story. And the good news is that you don't have to compete. It's not about competing. It is about using your story to connect with the right people who can say, yes, you have experience in that. This is my goal, or this is what I'm going through. So I know that you understand the things that I'm thinking about, and I'm going to hire you to help me in that process. That specific experience becomes your edge. You are speaking to people who are going through the same thing right now, whether they are researching the area, trying to figure out where they want to move, or maybe they are actively looking for a real estate agent to help them through it. Your specific experience in communicating that through content is going to differentiate you because you are going to help that person feel seen, feel understood, and know that you did it and you can help them do it too. So it gets people to trust that not only do you get them, but that you are the one that can help them. And so it doesn't matter if you've been in the business the longest or not. You understand them and you know what they're going through. And then you position yourself as the one who knows how to help them navigate the process and get to whatever that end goal is for them. So how do you use this in your content strategy? So the first thing is that you want to talk about the before stage of your own journey often. What confused you? What scared you? What frustrated you in this process? You want to think about where you were. And if you need to, you might need to do an exercise. Maybe you go to ChatGPT and you say, hey, I want to document what my experience was like, and I want to document my story with this move, with this experience. Can you ask me some questions to help me understand what my emotion and my mindset and my thoughts were before X, Y, and Z happened, or before we did this? Now, this is great because you can go through this process and you can revisit what were the things that you were thinking and feeling in the moment, because that is going to be one of the things that's really going to capture attention from the right people who are in it right now, who are trying to make a decision, who are trying to figure out what is the best move for them to make. Then you want to talk about what was it that you did that helped you to overcome those confusing thoughts or the frustrations or the things that were scaring you about the process. You're going to connect that personal experience that you had to the pain points that your audience is having today. And so what I want you to do is, after this episode, or maybe you pause right now, is go back out and write your story this week. Write down, 3 to 4 turning points from this experience that have shaped how you show up as an agent today. Think about where you were, what actions you took, and what actions you would take your clients through, and what that ended up being the result. The result is that you moved here from Minnesota and you weren't really sure, and you ended up taking a weekend trip to look at, drive through 5 or 6 different neighborhoods, and you ended up choosing a neighborhood and you found a community where you are meeting friends, your kids are meeting friends, you're feeling connected, your husband is pretty close to work, and you are feeling like, okay, I am getting my footing here in Arizona, even though we moved from this completely different climate, this completely different state, right? So I want you to write out that story, and I want you to really identify the 3 points, the before, the middle, and the after, so that you can then start using this in your content, in your videos, in a blog post, whatever it might be, in your social media content. You want to revisit this story often and speak to the people who are about to go through this or who are going through this, who need guidance, who need a real estate agent like you who has the experience to take them through it. I want to give you a couple of tactical ways to turn your story into content. I'm going to give you some content ideas right now for blog posts or YouTube videos. I like the idea of doing YouTube videos and then repurposing them into blog posts. And then, of course, repurposing that into email content. Let's go through 3 ideas. What I wish I knew before moving to city. Okay, we're just going to go through the example that I gave of you're relocating to a city or a state, right? The next one is my relocation story. Why we chose city and what surprised us most. This is such a unique piece of content, yet it is so searchable, because people are thinking about relocating to the city that you moved to and the area that you moved to, or they're trying to figure out the specific neighborhoods and cities within the metro area. And you are going to give your very personal experience. I don't have that experience because I have been in Phoenix, Arizona my entire life. Okay, so my experience living here as a native is so much different. It is so much different. And while, yes, I have chosen where to live as an adult, it is much different than choosing where to move, from a completely different state or area. The next idea, if you're moving here for work, if you're moving to blank city or insert state for work, here's what you need to know. Okay, share your personal story, your family story, your experience. And then you want to position yourself as the guide. You're not just helping people buy or sell, you're helping them navigate that transition that you have personally made, or you're helping them navigate the problem. Maybe you were a teacher trying to figure out how to buy a home and you were limited by your income and you felt like you would never be a homeowner. You're helping them navigate that problem, that situation. If your story isn't relocation, it might be buying a home as a single mom. Maybe it's downsizing your home with kids, or maybe it's, downsizing or moving into a fixer-upper with kids. Maybe it's investing into your first rental property, or maybe it's starting over after a divorce. There are so many personal stories out there that you could be using to attract in clients and differentiate yourself from people who may have years and hundreds of transactions more than you at this point, but they cannot compete with your individual story. What you have walked through is marketing gold when you connect it to what your people are struggling with, what they are facing, and what they may not know is the ideal path or route, or that there even is a path to success on the other side of these fears and the problems they are facing right now. So to recap, you don't need more years of experience or more real estate deals under your belt. You need to own, document, and communicate the story that you already have, that you've already experienced and lived. And no matter who is listening right now, if you have been in this business, you're just getting licensed, or you've been in the business for a year or two trying to figure out how to attract real estate clients, you have a story that you can package up and communicate to attract people into you that don't necessarily care about the number of deals or transactions that you've done, but they care that you see them and understand them and know how to get them to their desired result. Now, I would love it if you go through this exercise to just send me a DM on Instagram and, tell me a little bit about the story, or just be like, hey, I'm going to use my story of doing X, Y, and Z to start communicating and marketing myself as a real estate agent. Come DM me. I would love that. I would love to hear your story, and I would love to support you in sharing your story as marketing that's going to attract people to you without needing a huge ads budget, having to chase Zillow leads or the pay at close companies, any of that. And if you would like more support with your content marketing strategy, you want evergreen content where you can share this story out and it's going to be relatable, not only right now, but in a year, 2 years, and continue to attract leads into your real estate business. I am teaching my evergreen content strategy to real estate agents live in July for the first time. And you can join this 6-week course with both training and also live support to help you to execute. So getting your first lead magnet and funnel set up, launching your YouTube channel, repurposing your YouTube videos into blog posts so you can maximize search both on video and written content, and also how to actually repurpose your content and scale your marketing up so that you can be more present in your life and in your business where it matters, and not be glued to your phone and always having to chase leads, always chasing the algorithm and feeling like you're burning out all the time in your real estate business. I would love for you to join, and you can join and get exclusive bonuses for this first live round only, including my Pinterest marketing module. So sending more traffic to your content using Pinterest effectively. The link will be in the show notes. So I hope this was helpful for you. Go and share your story, practice your story, practice communicating it and speaking to people who want to work with you, not because of the number of deals that you've done, but because you are the right person for the job because of your individual experiences and your individual story that nobody else can compete with.